Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, here for another Metaphysical Mocha Mondays on the Intuitive Prospector channel. It is Monday morning, and I am back in my studio. Let me just check, make sure the microphone is working okay. If it is, if you guys could let me know. Let's see here. Looks like the volume is up. Okay, yep. Looks like we are good to go. And sorry, got a little bit of okay, there we go. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Rod. Good morning, Jenny, Donetta, Michelle, Yolanda, Kimberly. How are you guys? If you guys would do me a favor, I am going to be broadcasting for 30 minutes for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, and then come back for the Prospecting Q&A after show, where I will have a direct conversation with you, spiritual chat, live readings. I have 2 new decks to work with, so this week we're going to be working with Wisdom, and we're also going to be working with color. Color is very, very important. So for you guys that have joined me, it looks like I have a lot of people that are coming back, so good morning to you. And if you know that you're hanging out with me on a Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, got to have your coffee, got to have your tea. This is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, so I'm drinking, what am I drinking? I'm drinking a tea. Sorry, I'm a little jet lagged, so if I'm a little bit lacking today, it's because I just got back from England 2 days ago, and I'm still a little jet lagged. But I'm drinking English breakfast tea from Harrods, so cheers. So a little bit of tea. Also got my hemp-infused protein shake, and also my hemp oil, which I took to England because I'm proud of the UK, because they just legalized CBD oil, so I was able to take that with me and have that for the almost 3 weeks that I was there in England. So this morning I'm going to be talking to you about the intelligence of the spirit world and how the spirit world interacts with our world. A lot of people, talk about different worlds, heaven, a hell, if you will. And really, in my studies, in my metaphysical studies, and my spiritual studies, I've been going to England for the last 5 years, trying to understand what is the etheric world, what is the unseen world, and where does it live, where does it reside. And I can tell you that it resides right here. It resides right here on planet Earth. It's part of our planet. It's one planet. It's just different degrees of energy. It's different degrees of vibration. It's different degrees of intelligence. It's here. There is no up or down. And if you think in terms of the circle, I've always been fascinated with the circle. There really is no up or down. The planet is round. The sun is round. Everyone would acknowledge. Well, I'd say most everyone acknowledge that the planet is round. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the world is flat. Science tells us otherwise. But if there's a round planet, then there is really no up or down. And the etheric world, the unseen world, the spirit world, heaven, hell, whatever your belief system is, it's part of our world, and it interacts with us every single day of our lives. Now, I went to England for almost 3 weeks. Got back on Saturday. It was a long plane ride home. Still pretty jet lagged. However, I go to England every year for the last 5 years in my spiritual journey and my spiritual path to get a deeper understanding of what the unseen world is, the etheric world. Those that have left our planet, our world, our physical body, and have moved into a different state of mind, if you will, a different state of consciousness. We talked about this at the colleges there for, like I said, almost 2 weeks, and I just want to give a big shout out, a Metaphysical Mocha Monday shout out to all of the tutors and teachers at the Arthur Findlay Spiritual College. I had a heck of a week, learned a lot from some amazing teachers. I highly recommend the college. It always pushes me, it always challenges me, it always transforms me. And like I said, I've been going there for the last 5 years to understand the path of metaphysics, the path of psychic sciences, the path of mediumship, because it's not always a path that I was on. So if you guys want to participate in the conversation, go ahead and post your questions here. I will be coming back after at 8:30 for the Prospecting Q&A after show. If you touch your screen, you can get all the links to my YouTube library. Would love to have you subscribe. My YouTube library is growing, and so I'm always excited to have new spiritual prospectors get on my YouTube library, which has over 200 some videos now. All my Inspired Living radio shows for almost 4 seasons. We're going to be going into our 4th season, 2 seasons of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I just put a link in the comment section if you want to subscribe to my playlist on YouTube, or you can just touch the screen. And if you feel so kind and feel like you want to share this message out, for those that share the message out, I will be tracking the shares through the month of November, and at the end of the month, I will ask Spirit to pick one person to do a 30-minute reading for. And that will be a spiritual assessment, psychic reading, numerology reading, because I work with all of those. Excuse me. So let's get into the magic of the moment, as I like to say. And again, please share out if you want to share out to a couple pages, or take some people that might want a better understanding of the spiritual world. What is the intelligence of the spirit world, and how the spirit world interacts with us. So again, big shout out to all the instructors that I learned the last 3 weeks. Some amazing teachers. Jackie Wright, highly recommend. Penny Hayward, Brenda Lawrence. They were my tutors my first week at called the Awakened Mind, and we worked on philosophy, inspirational speaking, mediumship, how the spirit world speaks to us and through us. And then the second week was more advanced mediumship training and development 2 with the amazing Paul Jacobs. A hard teacher, but you know what? He really pushes people, and I highly recommend Paul Jacobs. He's been doing this work for many, many years, and he really challenged me, and I always like to say, no pressure, no diamond. And so big shout out to Paul Jacobs, Chris Drew, Eamon Downing, Sue Wood, Yosei Gottschalk, all of the tutors that were there at the Arthur Findlay College. Thank you so much for helping me to transform and unfold in my own spiritual path and take it to the next level. Not to be a good medium, but to be a great medium. And, you always need people to push you and challenge you, and mentors and teachers and tutors, because it's hard to get there on your own. And when you start to interact with the spirit world, I've taught about this. I've talked about it on the radio show. I talk about spiritual signs, symbols, and synchronistic events, and how the spirit world, even though it's unseen, interacts with us on a daily basis. I always equate it to the wind. You can look out the window. I'm looking out the window of my studio right now. So I'm looking out the window, and there's a tree that's swaying with the wind. And I always tell people the spirit world is much like the wind. We can see the effects of the spirit world just like we can see the effects of the wind, but we don't see the wind with our actual physical eye. And the spirit world is much the same way. It's more of a state of consciousness, a state of trusting and feeling in your intuition and your awareness. And I mean, if you think about it at the scientific level, at the cellular level, this physical body of who I am, Marc, is really a bunch of cells compressed together, vibrating at a certain frequency. If you were to speed my frequency up and start to speed things up at a higher vibration, this physical body would actually disappear. The spirit world is much the same way. The spirit world is in a higher vibration, a higher frequency, and when you start to attune and when you start to unfold in your own spiritual path, if you've had a shaking that causes an awakening like myself, I'll be honest with you guys, for those of you that personally know me, you know that I was not into psychic, I was not into mediumship, I was not into spirituality. I did have a belief in something bigger than myself because I was raised through the Catholic religion, so I was always taught to believe in something bigger than myself, but I never had a personal relationship with the spirit world until after, a lot of the death and dying that occurred in my own journey, my own near-death experience, my own out-of-body experience, and now, 8 years later, almost 13 years later of studying and 8 years as working in this industry, just having a deeper understanding and being the best that I can be as a spokesperson, ambassador, representative of the spirit world. It was interesting because one of the things that Paul Jacobs had said last week when I was there, he talked about that many are called to do this work, but few are chosen. And I definitely feel like I was called. I feel like I was chosen because I kicked and screamed along the way for about 2 years. But there's an intelligence there, and that's today's topic about the intelligence of the spirit world. And sometimes that calling, that inner God spark, that spark of energy that resides in your heart, sometimes we have this calling, but we justify it away or we analyze it away because it just doesn't make any sense. And I did that on my own spiritual path for 2 years. I thought I was going to be working in sports medicine. I got my degree in sports medicine, my graduate degree here at the University of Washington in human performance and sports medicine. I have a background as a healthcare provider in medicine. So I thought I was going that route. And it was at that class, at that semester of meditation, visualization, and mindfulness that it really opened me up to something bigger, something unseen. And when you start to realize that there's an intelligence there, that life does not end at death. Life actually begins at death as a new state of being, a new state of consciousness. Now, of course, I don't have all the answers. We don't know anybody that's come. We've heard about people coming back from death. Some of the great teachers and those in history talk about life after death. I can tell you personally, with all the readings that I've done, all the readings I've had, the 5 years of going to the Arthur Findlay College in England, afterlife is real. It's a real deal. It's a real thing. And I wouldn't be on the video here today on Facebook Live talking to you about this if I did not believe it was real with my own experiences. However, all I can do is show you the door. It's you that have to walk through it. And I like to say spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual gold. So the knowingness that I'm talking about comes from your own personal soul adventure. So for me, I just wrapped up almost 3 weeks in England, my own personal soul adventure, learning metaphysics, mediumship, meditation, mindfulness, intuition, awareness, how science and spirituality are starting to shake hands. And, it just, one of the quotes that really stuck out to me is, when you see a lot of us practicing mediums come together, we're really hard on ourselves. And a lot of great people in both weeks that I was there. I met a lot of amazing people. I love sitting at the cafeteria and being the only American at the table, and being out of my country and learning different perspectives all around the table, and different viewpoints and philosophies and ideas. And it's just always very enriching to me and learning experience for me. But one of the things that Paul Jacobs had talked about, and I really, like I said, I really admire his teachings, him and Jackie Wright, is he said the spirit world doesn't make it difficult. It's us. It's our analytical mind. We call these the temples for a reason, because inside this brain, inside this head and the temples is a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, but also a lot of chaos, a lot of drama, a lot of worry, a lot of fear, a lot of our thoughts that we think away. And when the spirit world doesn't make it difficult, you can blend with the spirit world and connect to your loved ones. I always tell people you don't have to be a medium to connect with your loved ones. Everybody can just think of their loved ones and look for the signs, the symbols, and the synchronistic events that come in to your mind. You may feel your loved one on your skin. Clairsentience is what we call clear feeling. Skin is the largest organ on the body. Clairvoyance is just seeing something. You may resonate with somebody that's passed into the spirit world through a song, through a poem, through an item, an object, if you will, through a movie. There's many different ways. Even when I was at Heathrow Airport getting ready to board my plane, I looked down on the ground and there's 10 pence. So I always find a dime or a nickel that represent that my brothers are with me in the spirit world. Unfortunately, I've lost both brothers tragically to the spirit, and they've moved into the spirit world. But I know that they're still alive, just in a different sense, and their intelligence of the spirit world comes back through the symbology of dimes from heaven, pennies from heaven, whatever. And I'm in England, and they give me 10 pence. So it doesn't matter where I'm in the world. They let me know that they're still with me. The 2 weeks that I was there, both brothers came through in presentations both times. Not me wanting them to come through, because they've come through so many times. I wanted somebody else to have the experience, but yet they still find a way to make connections and find the evidence and the accuracy of that nobody else would know that this medium can give to me, and it's without a doubt that they're still alive. So, it's amazing when you start to look at the things different. Wayne Dyer talked about this. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at start to change, and there is a truth and reality to that. So again, we're this morning. It's the week before Thanksgiving. So I just want to remind you, the mantra is to have an attitude for gratitude. If you're having a rough go this week, whether it's not hanging out with your family, or don't have food on the table, I always say to have an attitude for gratitude. I have what I call the Grateful Eight things that I'm grateful for every single morning that I wake up, because I never know if this is going to be my last morning, my last day on earth, and I want to get everything that I can out of this soul adventure, this journey. So this week, think about what you're grateful for. That's what Thanksgiving is about. It's about food as well. It's about being with family and friends and stories and football. You gotta have a little bit of football, American football. So when I said football when I was out of country, they always joke and make fun of me because they think of soccer or rugby, and I have to say American football. So if you guys don't mind, please share out. Click on hit if you're on the phone or your desktop. There is a link to my YouTube library if you want to subscribe. I'd love to have you turn on the notifications. Like the page of the Intuitive Prospector, trying to get to 30,000 likes by the end of the year if I can. Just trying to reach more people. Not about popularity, not about trying to be in everybody's Facebook Live, but just sending messages of inspiration and hope and guidance, and to be kind, caring, and compassionate in a world that seems to have lost its mind. I can tell you, being out of country for almost 3 weeks, it's palpable. It's resonating about what's going on in our country, what's going on in other countries. the lack of civility, the tribalism. It's very concerning to me. And so if I can make a change, the change starts with me. And if I can roll that out and make a change in one person's life, then that's what this show is about. It's about, just helping you on a Monday morning with the least favorite day of the week to get you thinking outside the box and going in the weeks ahead to think about your journey and, like I said, spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual gold. No belief system here, no politics here. It's whatever your experience is and whatever your mindset is telling you. So that leads me into the mantra for the week, and that is something to think about, your thoughts, because your thoughts actually, pave the way for your path, your vibration, your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your behavior become your habits become your destiny. So when you think about thoughts and how powerful they are, it's important to keep in mind what your thoughts are and where they're taking you. So this mantra for the week is from Yossi Gottschalk. She's one of the tutors at Arthur Findlay College. I wrote it down, so I want to give her credit. And she talked about you are a witness to your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. So again, let me say that. You are a witness to your thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. And again, if you want to check out Yossi Gottschalk, she's a tutor there at the Arthur Findlay College. Paul Jacobs, Jackie Wright, Eamon Downing. It was cool. I always say that the spiritual path is never a straight line. We want it to be a straight line. That way we can navigate the road a lot better because we can see what's ahead of us. But a lot of times it comes back to that circle that I talked about in the very beginning of today's show, is the spiritual path always takes us in a circle of things, and we come back to experiences, people. I always say that lessons repeat until they complete. I also say that what we resist persists, and the spiritual spiral, the spiritual path. And it was 5 years ago that I set on a journey to go to England to study at the Arthur Findlay College. And my very first tutor in advanced mediumship was Eamon Downing. And boy, he was tough on me. I didn't like him for the first few days. He was hard on us as Americans. There was only 2 Americans in the class. And it was tough. But you know what? He transformed and unfolded my mediumship in amazing ways. An amazing tutor, amazing man, teacher, a mentor who I highly respect. And wouldn't you know it, 5 years later, he's teaching at the college for the last time, and I had a spiritual assessment with him. We had a great conversation, and just that, things come full circle. So where I was 5 years ago is not the place where I am today, and it's not going to be the place where I'm at 5 years in the future. But I always honor and respect those tutors and teachers that help us get to that next step, and that's a good teacher because they acknowledge us as students to want to see us be better than what we are, and to push us and to unfold and transform us. And Eamon Downing, thank you, my friend. You have really helped me in my spiritual path, and as well as Jackie Wright. They were my very first 2 tutors back in 2013 at the Arthur Findlay College, and it's come full circle. And I just want to say thank you for the teachings that you've shown me the last years of mediumship. So the intelligence of the spirit world, like I said, the spirit world already knows what we need, and they put things in our path, they put things in our mind, they put things in our heart, that God spark. It's up to us. The greatest power that we have is free will and choice. And if we decide to choose to do that without analyzing it, it can become a very cool pathway. It become very eye-opening pathway of the things that can unfold for you. But a lot of times we choose not to, or our free will, we say, oh, that's bunk, that's just BS. If I can't see it, I don't believe it. I would challenge you to say, start believing it, and then you see it, and then you achieve it. And the spirit world is, a lot of, I was raised that, that there was a heaven and a hell, and that there's angels and devils and demons. And, there might be, I don't know, but I can tell you that there is a hierarchy of intelligence that is above this world. And the messages and the hundreds of readings I've done clearly shows from the evidence, from the science, that there is something beyond death. And I personally believe that there is life after death, and death is not the end. Death is just the beginning. So I personally don't fear death in my journey. That helps me to live a life full of adventure, what I call soul adventures, and to really just go out and be the best that I can and help people, be an assistance to make this world a better place. And that's what this show is about. So somebody keeps throwing up angry faces. I'm not sure why you're angry. It is Monday morning, so maybe that's why you're a little angry. So let's just take a deep breath. Let's get into the magic of the moment. Taking a nice deep breath with me. We're going to be coming back for the prospecting Q&A after show here in about 4 minutes. But I just wanted to talk to you about the intelligence of the spirit world. And if you look for it, it's the famous quote by Joseph Campbell: "The cave you fear does hold the treasure you seek. And if you seek, if you explore, that's what the Intuitive Prospector is all about, helping you to spiritually prospect for your own spiritual gold. But you have to put the work in. It's not going to come like an Amazon delivery to your front door. It's really, what are you passionate about? What are you exploring, putting in the hard work? And when you find what you're looking for, that gold nugget, it can be really life-changing for you. The spirit world, Wendy, those who seek will find. And again, when you seek and when you are exploring and discovering through mind, body, and spirit, and when I say about spirit is your auric energy field, the same energy field that surrounds Mother Earth, everything is based on energy, frequency, and vibration. You can start to see the world and yourself in many different ways. And the right people come into your pathway. Like I said, when I set to go to England a year ago, I wasn't sure what I was going to get into, and I wasn't sure what I was going to learn, but I'm sure glad that I did, because I met amazing people at the college, amazing friends, just amazing colleagues, and people that really helped me to grow and transform my spiritual path and see the world different perspective than just as an American. So thank you to all the lovely people that I connected with the last 2.5 weeks at the Arthur Findlay College, and thank you to the tutors who have stepped into the pathway to show me the next step on my journey. And that's what happens in your spiritual path. The right people, the right places, the right experiences come into an alignment, and that spiritual path is this. And things will come and repeat until you learn it, and then you go forward. So I want to give you your gold nuggets for the week, things to pay attention for. So your prospecting crystal for the week, I like to work with different crystals, and I'm going to give you a combination stone this morning. The combination stone is azurite, Azurite, and it's got a little bit of malachite in it. And when you take the azurite with the malachite, it combines the qualities of the two crystals in a powerful conductor of energy. And it unlocks spiritual visions, it strengthens the ability to visualize, and it opens up the third eye. So again, look for a combination stone of azurite with malachite, and that can help to conduct a nice, powerful energy. It unlocks spiritual vision, it strengthens the ability to visualize, and it opens up to the third eye. It's also at the emotional level. It brings in deep healing. So for those of you that are in search of deep healing, the azurite with malachite is a beautiful stone to have. The mantra for this week: you are a witness to your thoughts, however, you are not your thoughts. So just think about that for a second, what that actually means. I want to give you your totem animal spirit for the week, and that's going to be it's a bird, it kind of looks like a crane, called the ibis, I-B-I-S. And the ibis is kind of like a pelican, if you will. It's a white bird. And if you see the ibis, or if you see like a pelican, it's a white bird with a long beak. The ibis tells us every day to pause for a few moments, at least a couple times, and think the thought, everything is sacred, and observe what happens as you do. So if you just take a second, take a breath, knowing that you're alive, knowing that you have a heartbeat, just say to yourself, everything is sacred, and then just see what unfolds for you over the next few minutes. Try it. Test it. You don't have to believe me. Do it for yourself, and see if it unfolds for you, and see if you have an interaction or a synchronicity or a coincidence or a strange occurrence. It's quite cool, guys. And again, the spiritual path, for those of you that are agnostic, want proof of God, whatever God is or who God is, atheist, no belief in God, try it and see what happens. Give it a go. Do a little of your own spiritual prospecting. And again, just say to yourself, everything is sacred. Take a deep breath. See where even your thoughts go. See what your thoughts do. Again, the mantra is, you are a witness to your thoughts. However, you are not your thoughts. So the number for this week is the number 2. Patience. I know it's backwards on the video, but look for the color of orange. Look for the number 2, which is about patience. And have patience for yourself. Have patience for others. We are in Mercury retrograde for a few more weeks, so a lot of chaos and traveling. Don't sign contracts, communication. Mercury in retrograde is the god of Mercury is the god of communication. So just watch your communications. Have a lot of patience. Pay attention for the ibis bird that talks about everything is sacred. Take a deep breath. And last but not least, your combination stone, azurite with malachite, is your prospecting crystal for the week. I just want to thank you for hanging out with me this morning. I'm going to continue the conversation, so if you want to stay here, I'll be back here in about 30 seconds for the Prospecting Q&A after show, where I'll be taking your readings, questions, spiritual chat. It is a community page, so if you decide that you want to show up with negative comments or trolling, you will be banned from the page. This page is for inspiration, guidance, uplifting, spirituality, metaphysics, mediumship, psychic, awareness, and all the good things. So, hi Dave, thanks for joining. My good friend Dave that I met at the college, he's joining on the broadcast. So again, I'm going to be back here in about 30 seconds to continue the conversation with the Prospecting Q&A after show. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, just hit the see more comments or hit on the screen of your phone. There's a link there to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you as a spiritual prospector, and have a great rest of your week. I'm happy to be back in Seattle at my studio. Still a little jet lagged, but happy for the soul adventure that I just had at the Arthur Findlay College in Stansted, England, and all the amazing people and tutors and teachers that have helped me on my spiritual path. Much gratitude and gratefulness to them and all the new friends that I have met along the way. So, and until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the Intuitive Prospector page, or you can catch me every Wisdom Wednesday through the internet through Om Times Radio Network called Inspired Living Radio at 12 p.m. Pacific, or you can visit my site at marclainhart.com to get all the links, all the information, all of the spiritual awesomeness. All right, guys, I'll see you next Monday, and if you want to stick around, I'll be back here with the Prospecting Q&A after show. Have a great rest of your week. Namaste.